we have time later, I'll tell you how I got a hold of it. It's kind of clunky here. But this is a very interesting gun. I picked this up in Zimbabwe, in Africa, in the early 80s. And when I got it home and looked at it, and I've been kind of cleaning up my inventory these days, I notice on the side of it, it's got a man's name here, written out. It's H.S. Gladstone. H.S. Gladstone is the man's name. And under that is the inscription 3 KOSB. Now, when a gentleman soldier in England around the turn of the century, last century, got his bars, he typically went to a place called Wesley Richards, which is where this gun was purchased. He bought this at Wesley Richards and had his name put on it and his unit designation. Now, originally this came with the wooden stock. The only part of that that's left is kind of one of the little latches on it. So I said to myself, what is 3KOSB? Well, like every good, I Googled it. And it turns out that 3KOSB is the 3rd Regiment of the King's Own Scottish Borders. Borders in the sense of boarding a ship, I believe, rather than boarding in room and board sense. So I pursued it a bit further. Yes?
I think it's protecting borders more than boarding ships.
Borders?
That borders of Scotland.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. King's Own Scottish Border. So I kept going, and I found out that yes, indeed. Now keep in mind, this gun was made. It's only a 4-digit serial number, so it was made probably in 1895. 98, 99, something like that. So I kept looking and found out that yes, indeed, on the 12th of March in the year 1900, a bunch of ships left England heading for South Africa, carrying troops, supplies, and animals and arms for the Boer War. The Boer War was fought in South Africa from 1898 to about 1902. And on the list of people is a gentleman named Second Lieutenant H.S. Gladstone. And here's his gun.
That's
right there, boys and
Thank
girls.
God for Google.
Right, thank God for Google. So there it is. So you can imagine this guy in 1900, a young second lieutenant, getting on a ship with, it's got a bunch of animals, and guns, and people. And so it went to South Africa. Now, I was able to determine he's not on the list of casualties in South Africa, so I think he made it back. How the gun got there, I don't know. Why it stayed there, I don't know. I'm still working on that. But it ended up in Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe, and that's where I got it. So it was one last footnote. The ship that he was on, it says here, is the Kildonian Castle. And so I kept Googling, and there's the Kildonian Castle. There's the ship right there. It's got all that funny angular, it wasn't camouflage. It was a system that they used to use.
It was camouflage.
It was camouflage. And the idea was to mess up rangefinders, I think, because they're diagonal lines. That
Looks like a wave.
Hmm?
Looks like a wave.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that what it does? Like that?
Looks like a wave.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, there the ship is. And I kept going on and found out that the ship had just barely been finished. Okay? And what they decided to do was that it says here that it was built in 1899, just right. This is about the time this gun was made. And this time and she was rushed into service with much of her accommodation incomplete and made her maiden voyage to the Cape carrying 3,000 troops to fight the Boer War. There it is.
Very cool.
Wow.
An interesting little bit of history.
Original research like that is it's unbelievable.
It took 10 minutes on Google. I mean, this Google is just fucking amazing.
And wasn't there a
And if you don't do computers, learn. Anyway, so here it is. I'm sorry, I wish I had the stock. All I've got is this little remnant of it that's left.
I'll take it.
End of story.
I got to tell you a funny story. One day,